reason why not having a joint account has worked is because we don't have secrets.
Talking about how wise in men, okay, women go to church and men are not there. You just check when Christianity came to Africa and check when Christianity came to Nigeria, right?
What value do you give to family prayer? If you value family prayer, then you will pray.
Hello and welcome. This is Safe House with Hetty. Safe House with Hetty is a TV talk show that focuses majorly on marriage and relationship. So, if you have a question about marriage and you need to find the answer, worry no more, you are definitely in the right place. My name is Henrietta Okechukwu, your host for the show. Today, we're talking about vocations. A vocation is a strong feeling of suitability for a particular career or occupation. It is a calling, life's work, mission, purpose, profession or occupation. It is a pursuit or walk of life. Vocation is by invitation. The word vocation comes from the Latin word vocare. Vocare means to call. God calls us or invites us. And we have a wonderful guest in the house. He's a priest of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. He was ordained 6 years ago, and he works in the Abuja Archdiocese. Meet Reverend Father Majala Chijoke. Father, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Henrietta.
Father, you know, we call you Father, Father, Father. You know, it's so interesting to hear somebody called Father. How do you feel when they call you Father?
Well, I feel happy and also a sense of responsibility. Wow. You know, apart from just the big name Father that they call you. Of course, ask parents. Every dad feels happy when your children are gathered around you and they're calling you Papa. Father is Papa, but this one is a spiritual father in that sense. But there's a bigger responsibility too, because you're not just dealing with a few children in the house. You're father to everybody in the parish.
Everybody.
It doesn't matter how old the people in your parish are, they still call you father. You know, sometimes it has become like your name. You don't even know you have another name.
Father. When they say Father,
so
you don't.
When your old friends at times meet you and call you your name, call you Majella, you look at them like,
what are you saying?
Is they thinking right?
Father, we are talking about vocations.
Okay.
So tell us, what is a vocation?
Well, from the Christian point of view, vocation is that platform, that channel through which you exercise your faith throughout your life. A lot of people think that vocation is a job. No, vocation is not job. Vocation is the channel through which you serve God in as much as you are alive. Okay. So you are differentiating between job, career, and a vocation? Yes, I am, actually.
But the dictionary says vocation is what we do for a living, a purpose.
No, it's not precisely what we'll do for a living. Vocation, yes, can give you some income. What you do as your vocation can give you money. But there is also this God aspect of it. There's this spiritual aspect about vocation. Okay. It's not what you use, what you get involved in and get some money to eke out a living. No, okay. There is more to it than just earning a living. It's not a job.
Wonderful. So, Father, how many types of vocations are there?
Precisely, the Catholic Catechism tells us we have 4 vocations.
4 vocations?
4 vocations.
Wow. Okay.
And each of them is very important. And Christians are encouraged to embrace each. But who calls? It's God that calls. The 4 vocations, by the way, let's start with that. Vocation to the priesthood. You have a vocation to married life. You have a religious vocation. And you have the single life vocation.
Wow. Single life vocation.
Yes. Wow. You like that?
Single life vocation.
Why didn't you begin from the first? You're beginning from the third.
No. That is wonderful. So I've seen people who are about 50, past 50 years and they are not married.
Yes.
Do they have the single life vocation?
It becomes vocation if they intentionally are in there. Those who embrace the single life vocation don't embrace the single life vocation by accident. It's not an accidental vocation. Someone can say, I don't want to be a reverend sister. I don't want to be a priest. I don't want to be married to anybody. I want to serve God as a single person. Not because he has not found somebody to marry. No.
Okay.
Not because people are not coming for him or her in marriage or something. No. Okay. It's, I want to live like this and serve God. My mind convinces me, I think I can be a better child of God if I'm alone without getting involved with anybody or with any institution.
Wonderful. Today I've learned. Viewers, I hope you've learned something. So if you are single in your father's house, you have not purposely decided to be single to serve God, that's not a vocation.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
I like that. So how do we now pick that single vocation? Because you are neither religious, nor clergy, nor married. Do people really go out to say, yes, I want to be single to serve God?
Yes, somebody can. People do. It's when people have told you, when they tell you that you know they have. You know, we have a lot of people who are not married. And they're not reverend fathers, they're not reverend sisters. But they are the ones to say why they are staying put, why they are not married, and why they are not in the seminaries.
Wow.
It's not we to tell them. They decide. The vocation has to do, it's not a people's thing. It's you and your God. What you have decided with God.
Okay.
Somebody also may not be married, and he or she is there maybe thinking he or she will marry, but after some time he's not married, and he says, I want to rather embrace the single life vocation. So from expecting this, one can go to this.
So when you have embraced that single life vocation, as a second thought.
As a second thought, whether as a primary thought or second thought, if you have finally embraced it, it becomes your vocation.
Okay, Father, let me ask you, because I know a lot of people
who
are not married, and they are still single, and maybe meeting man go do. Just switch over, let me be a single, let me take single life vocation, right?
Yes.
And then somebody comes to marry them. Should they reject that marriage because they've chosen
single life? If you have taken single life vocation, you will not be married at the same time. You won't say, I want to marry, you know, because you have chosen it. Unless you officially want to denounce it and say, okay, I'm not doing single life vocation again.
Who did you tell? That single life, who did you tell? Who do you need to tell?
It's God you tell.
Okay.
It's God. There is nobody supervising you. It's God supervising you.
Directly.
You know, it has to do with our sincerity and simplicity.
Wow.
You know, you can't cheat God.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to tell. Remember, all of us, first of all, I want you to bear in mind that we all have a central vocation. A general vocation is the vocation to holiness. Our Lord Jesus Christ tells us in John chapter 12, verse 32, that when I'm lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men to myself. He has already set the platform to draw everybody to himself, but he draws us through the vocations. So we have a general vocation first of all, and that's vocation to holiness. Jesus is drawing you to himself. He's drawing us to himself. What is he drawing us to do? He's drawing us to be holy. So you can be holy as a single person. You can be holy as a reverend sister. You should be holy as a married person. You should be holy as a priest. So having decided to be holy on the platform of single life, it's your agreement with God.
Wonderful.
So you don't need to tell anybody. It's you and you and
Wonderful,
only you.
Father, how did you know you're going to be a priest?
Well, every vocation has the full hand of God in it. The single life vocation seems to be the easiest, I want to say. Easiest in the sense that no other agency, no other institution is supervising you or deciding. But to embrace the religious life or the priestly life, it's bigger. If I say, oh, I want to be a priest, I mean it. And that doesn't mean I have the vocation. No, I don't have the vocation yet. It is the bishop that confirms the vocation. Even as a theology 3 seminarian, as a deacon, I will not say I have the vocation. It's the bishop, after my seminary training, who will say, I find you worthy to be ordained a Catholic priest. That is why there are conditions. You must have finished your studies in the seminary completely. You would have been up to the age 25 years minimum. I'm now going into the priesthood. But what I'm trying to say is that there are requirements. The single life vocation is not the same as other vocations. The other vocations have more demand, more challenges, because it's not just you. Other agencies are involved. You can say, I want to be a priest, and the seminary says, yes, you have said you want to be a priest, but we think you cannot be a priest, even after your studies. So as soon as the bishop confirms your vocation, you are called. You are not called until the vocation is confirmed.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. What about people who, I've seen one or two people who were in the seminary.
Yes.
And then senior seminarians, okay? And then they kind of left or they dropped out. I don't know what happened, but they didn't become priests.
Yeah.
And I've seen them really miserable. Why? I've seen them very miserable people.
Well, they are not always miserable. In some cases, they are miserable. In some other cases, they are not. It depends on how one manages it and who has helped you. Remember, when one goes into the seminary, most times the intention is to become a priest. Imagine if that dream were scuttled along the line. It's heartbreaking, of course. It's painful. I have ex-seminarian friends. I have ex-reverend sister friends. When the dream didn't come true, it's painful. Nobody likes it. You have already told yourself, I want to be a priest, you mean it. But one thing or the other can happen in the seminary and you don't become. Sickness, for instance, can make you not become. If you're sick in the seminary, if you're not considerably healthy in the seminary, you will be expelled. The seminary doesn't enjoy expelling people, but you'll be asked to go. But it's still called expulsion. You'll be cancelled, you'll be encouraged and all that, but you'll be asked to go because you can't make it with the huge academic challenge, with the physical challenge. People die in the seminar, of course, we are playing football sometime in the senior seminar and somebody slumped and that was the end.
In fact, we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, Father will continue because I'm finding this very interesting. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The family is the heartbeat of the world. It is made up of the husband, wife, and children. The society, in turn, is made up of families. Countries are made up of societies, while the world is made up of countries. Little wonder someone has said, if you destroy the family, you destroy the society.
The Bible says, if a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, and the Lord grants him favor.
Welcome back. This is Safe House with Hetty, and I'm Henrietta, your host. We're talking about vocations, and Father has told us that we have 4 vocations: the priesthood vocation, married life, religious life, and singles. So Father is going to throw more light on the vocations. Don't go away. Now, Father, let us throw more light on the marriage.
Okay.
Now, is marriage a vocation?
Yes, marriage is a vocation and a sacrament.
Okay.
The sacrament is called matrimony.
Okay.
It unites a man and a woman, and they are the ministers of the sacrament.
Okay. In marriage, the husband and the wife
are the ministers. Yes.
So what does the Reverend Father do?
The Reverend Father is a witness representing the church.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, in exceptional situations like wartime where there is no Reverend Father, 2 persons can come and they exchange marital vow and it's binding.
Wow.
They become husband and wife.
I love that.
But that's in a
where the war situation.
War situation.
What if in a situation where the priest comes like once in a year, like there are some villages where Reverend Fathers come there like once in 6 months.
Yeah, when he comes once in a year, he will wait all the people there. He mustn't celebrate mass. Okay. He waits them. They exchange the marital vow before him, and that's it. It's done these days within the context of mass most times, just to bring in the highest form of prayer into it, to make it a lot beautiful. You must not celebrate mass as you're uniting the people.
Father, you talked about priesthood and religious life.
Yes.
I thought they were all the same. Priesthood, religious life. I know there are some priests that are saying they are religious. So please expatiate on that. What is priesthood and religious life? What's the difference between priesthood and religious life?
Yeah, some priests could be religious because they belong to some particular congregations, like the Dominicans are religious. Every congregation, every group of priests that are not diocesan priests are religious. Those who are not religious because they are working in the diocese or archdiocese. They belong to the archdiocese. The others are religious because they are living on their own, not directly in any particular diocese. They can be working for in dioceses, but they are not priests of that diocese.
So they can be moved anywhere.
They can be moved anywhere. They are controlled by their superiors. They have a different channel of authority and administration. You know, they are not members of the diocese.
Now, coming to the family, because this is a family talk show. When you see a young child, so churches, when there are children like that, when they go for mass, you see the young boy following everything the father does. When father bows, he bows and everything. So, why are you doing this? Say, I want to be a priest.
Yeah.
You know, and the parents say, no, you can't be a priest. You're my only son. Or there are some cases where parents say, you must be a priest. I'm on Santa, Papa, Father, Mama, Father. What do you have to say about such situations?
Well, I want to quickly say that it is better to have people stopping you from becoming priest than people forcing you to become priest.
Wow.
It's dangerous.
Hello, viewers. Do you hear that? It is better for people to be stopping you from becoming priest, not pushing you to become priest. Very important.
Yes, because it's dangerous. You go there, you become a misfit.
Wow.
And you're in bondage, perpetual bondage. In my own case, I told my parents at the age of 6 that I want to be a priest because I went to church and I saw one man standing at the altar and every other person this way. So I told them I want to be like that man. So they said, you want to become priest. I was the only son then.
Wow.
Yes, I was the only son for a long time. You know.
So your parents, did they later have other sons?
Yeah, they had a son along the line, but that didn't concern me. I wanted to be a priest and that's it. So I told them I want to be priest and they said I can't be priest because I have not served mass. And anybody who will become priest will serve mass first. I said, to serve mass? Okay, I want to serve mass. They said, no, I can't serve mass because I wasn't up to 7. No, I have not received communion. So I said, okay, I want to receive communion.
Okay, now.
They said, no, I can't receive communion.
You're not of age.
Because I'm not up to 7 years.
Wonderful.
So I waited for them. As soon as I was 7, I started another trouble. So they allowed me to receive communion. After receiving communion, I served the mass. After serving mass, it was time to go to the junior seminary. So I continued from there.
Wow.
But at that point, you wouldn't say, I can't claim. I couldn't have claimed that I was called. No, it's the bishop that confirms the call before your ordination.
Father, that thing you are saying is very complicated because somebody in the seminary, for instance, finish minor seminary, enter senior seminary, and you are saying the bishop has to confirm that vocation. I have a call. If I didn't have a call, I won't start going to the seminary now.
No, there is discernment of the call. You are not the one to discern your call. It is the institution that discerns your call, and the bishop is the head of that institution. You have told me of people who left the seminary, who, after staying for some years in the seminary, of course, some of them live on their own. They are not always expelled. Okay. Some people wake up and say, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. I want to leave. And he leaves. He leaves the next minute. And if you cross that gate, that's the end. Because everybody leaves the gate with permission. So if you go out, like I will leave, and you cross that place, you have left. So, and if you go and tell the rector you're leaving, he will tell you not to leave and will try to talk with you, and you say, no, I'm leaving, and you go away. If you come back, they won't admit you back. So you cannot say you were called at that point. You are facing the process of discernment. It's all the process of discernment. You know, in that process of discernment, the seminary can ask you to leave, or you can leave by yourself. Then you can also finish, and the bishop says, okay, you get ordained. You people will be ordained and gives you dates. You're not called yet until a hand is laid on you. the final confirmation is laying of hand and you're priests. And that is it. You know.
So, Father, I want to ask, is it possible to allow people to just go and live their lives? Maybe when they have lived, maybe when they are in their 40s, they've realized that they can't really continue this worldly life and they want to come back to priesthood. Would they be accepted? I
became a priest at the age of 40.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us, how did that be?
Exactly. I was in the I finished the junior seminary. I left the junior seminary. You know, because my dad died, and I told you I was the only son for a long time. My younger brother came as the 5th child. So I was more like their father when my dad died. So I had to leave.
To support the family.
Yes, I felt I can't be comfortable in the seminary. I say comfortable because it was comfort for me. It was a pleasure. Staying in the seminary, passing through the process was a big pleasure. That was what I wanted. So it was a lot of happiness for me. Each day in the seminary was a lot of happiness. But while I was there, I said, but people are home. My mother didn't quite go to school and she can't grapple with the vagaries in the society. So I just think I should go and help her. So I managed reluctantly, painfully. I didn't go to the seminary immediately, the senior seminary immediately. After the junior seminary, I had to stay away for over 12 years.
Wow.
I was away for a long time, you know, so trying to help out. But each day I spent outside was painful.
So you were just working hard to support the family financially?
Yes, that's it. Exactly.
Oh, wow.
But I also went to school too. I went to the university.
Good.
You went to the university.
Good. You went to the university, Father?
Yes, I did.
Which university did you go to?
You must stay university.
Okay. And you were not distracted by all these university
I was
girls?
distracted plenty times, but I stood my ground. I knew what I wanted. You can't say you're not distracted. Even as a priest, go out there, people distract you. So the devil can't respect you because you're a priest. You understand? You're not his younger brother. That's it. You get distracted.
So for me, that is the confirmation. The fact that you could go out and come back.
But it's risky, I must tell you.
Why?
You could go out and lose your vocation. Yes. You could risk it. It's just God's doing. I won't beat my chest and say, oh, I was a strong man and this and that happened. And no.
But there's also another Reverend Father I've heard of. He actually left minor seminary, went to the university, came out of university, he worked in FCDA.
Yeah,
I worked for
also.
years. And after that, one day he just packed his bag. I'm going to be a priest. He was like, are you serious? I want to be a priest. And today he's very happy.
Exactly. It happens like that. Some also want to come back, but at times they're not allowed back. It's not very easy. You can lose your vocation. It's the thing about vocation must be followed with a lot of prayers. You must be ready to pray. You know, it's not just your thing. It's you and God. If you think you have intelligence or you're strong or you have money, you're wasting your time. You could just put yourself into trouble and you won't make it in the end.
So what I want to ask, Father, are you saying that the seminary formation, the bishop, they are authentically working for God? Couldn't they also make a mistake by maybe sending somebody away when the person actually has a call from God?
Yeah, it's possible that you're sent away from one religious congregation or one diocese. Doesn't mean that you have been sent away from the church.
Ooh.
People have been expelled from one seminary and they get ordained in another seminary.
Oh, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode. We've been talking about vocations, and my guest has been Father Majala Chijioke. Father Majala Chijioke has told us that there are 4 different types of vocations: the priesthood, married life, religious life, and the single life. Father, thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
I'll call you again some other time.
Thank you too.
So thank you, viewers. We will see you again next week. God bless you.